All right. So, good evening. It is July 15th, and in 2 days, this video will be released on YouTube. This is the really the first episode of the Dark Rocker show, because the episode I did before and put up was actually the pilot episode. So I'm kind of trying to organize things on my phone, and just because it kind of seems a little quiet in here, I'm going to put on some nature sounds in the background. I know that's kind of different with wrestling. Just give me 1 second here, because I don't want to be overly loud where I can't hear myself talk. I think that should be fine. So let's see. My phone's set up. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to organize things on my phone, and I feel like I can at least get a jump start on the first set of episodes, and then focus on kind of like a show I want to do called The Vault, which would be I would say an hour, an hour each episode, or 15 minutes, just in the meantime until I get everything all situated. I got a lot of videos that I want to go through on my from my computer, just checking out some things, and I was checking out videos that I had in my Rocker Wednesday folder, and across everything it looks like there's 265 different videos. So but the Vault are going to be old episodes that were supposed to be for tea time, and there's just stuff that I want to try to organize. So anyways, this is going to be me talking more about my documentary, Dead End, the story of Dark Rocker. I got some kombucha to make this a really fun hours worth of talking, if I can get that far. My phone's been acting weird. I have 2 terabyte storage plan, but for some reason, even though my phone has a lot of storage left over, it says that storage is almost full, so I had to make these hour-long episodes and then put them on YouTube and then delete them off my phone. So hopefully what I got on YouTube stays on until I can try to find a way to download them to my computer, which I'm sure I'll have no problems, because I don't do anything to have copyright issues and all that. So what I want to start talking about, because I didn't get a chance to do it in episode 1, was I wanted to talk about each character from IKW, and I guess my interpretation on each character, and what I liked about them, what I disliked. I guess I would say, I guess I'll put down pros, cons, where are they now, and Hall of Fame worthy, or would they be worthy of going in any UW Hall of Fame, even though it's out of my control. I still feel like, since I was there from the beginning and spent a good while on and off of the company, I think that I definitely deserve to be able to suggest who could go in the Hall of Fame, and so now originally I wanted to save Dr. Reality for a different video, but I feel like this is, and before I continue with deciding to put them in this video, I'll actually talk about tag teams too. So at least tag teams that I can remember. I think there may have only been 2, but I could be wrong, but I think I remember 2 of them. Alright, so let's get one of these things open. We had a Blueberry Social, and these are alcohol extracted, as you can, it's right here, you can tell or not, but I know it's backwards, but we had the Blueberry Social and Elderberry, and now we're gonna have the Strawberry Sage. These come from my favorite store, Healthy Living, health store that I go to get my products, and maybe down the road I'll make some videos about stuff that I get from them. So let's get started. So I'll save myself and Dr. Reality for last. So I'm gonna start out with Ace. So Ace and I met when Ace was played by Connor. I never knew how to pronounce his last name. I just called it Bergerson. I don't know. Connor and I met. I was a freshman in high school. He was a sophomore, and I really liked Jeff Hardy at this time. So I had this Jeff Hardy necklace, like the necklace that he always used to wear. I got one of those replica ones, and I remember we were on the school bus, and that's how him and I became friends. He complimented it, and things went on from there. But he had some, like, I think he had Asperger's syndrome, and he just became, like, I'm not kidding, that was, like, maybe the only time, that and another time was the only 2 times that he was ever, you know, nice to me. So, but every other time, he was just a total asshole to me. Off camera, I hated him. I hated working with him. He was just an asshole. He treated me like shit because he knew that he could get away with it. And it bothered me a lot. It really did. I kind of, like, you know, I'm one of those people that people think that I purposely do shit to piss other people off, and I really don't mean to. I don't know if it's my vibe or my aura or what, but it's always been like that. So the only time that he was nice to me was when we hanged out at his house, like, one time, and we were playing with the wrestling figures, and, you know, and that was pretty cool. Walking back to my mom's house, but it was almost like I'm not judging anybody that has Asperger's syndrome. I really don't know the first thing about it, but it just, to me, felt like, it felt like it was just like you could set a timer, and I know this kid's gonna be a rude asshole, and you're not gonna know why, you know. But this is how it was. On the pro level, so I talked about the negative. The pro level, he was a really good wrestler. Knew some good stuff about wrestling. I don't think that I've ever seen a bad match with him. And this says a lot because during that time it was like really crap. But I think that definitely he was one of the better wrestlers. Maybe even one of the best, and at that time, you know, I myself would have put him as a long reigning champion. You know, I think he kind of reminded me of, like, you know, not his attitude, but like, you know, like the way he carried himself. Kind of made me think of, like, Kurt Angle from, like, the 2006 era. Not as intense or aggressive with that energy, but just, I don't know, just like a bit of the cockiness, and the charisma, I guess. I think that he definitely had it, but the reason why he was never taken seriously as a long-range champion or even given that shot, or why Dr. Reality and myself were always above him is, you know, it's kind of fucked up to say, but it's like we didn't look at him as like how Vince McMahon looked at Ultimate Warrior, and like Ultimate Warrior was like a huge asshole and treated people like shit around him. But, you know, this guy looks great for the poster, let's put him as champion. We weren't really like that, you know. I think that there was an idea of putting Ace as like a top guy, you know, and you know, like a star of the company. But because I didn't get along with him backstage, and because he was an asshole, you know, he was an asshole to Jake as well. I think both of us just kind of were like, no, he's going to continue to be an asshole, and we can't trust him, and why have him as the leader of the company? You know, why have him as the guy who's going to carry everyone else? You know, one day he's nice, next day he's an asshole. You know, it's funny because I think in 2019, somewhere around there was a possibility of doing the wrestling again for real, and Ace was kind of be on the call list to actually come back and join. I don't know how that would have went. Probably would have went much different, you know. But it would have been awkward. And I don't recall if I talked Jake out of that or what, but I just it would have been nice for like one more match sort of thing. Would I put where is he now? I don't know where he's at now. I think I saw him once on Facebook. He seems still alive. That's all I can really say. I'm not in his life. I've been a part of his life since like 2008, you know, so I don't know where he's at now. I could try to find out, because I do have the old Facebook. So I'm kind of curious to know about this. Let me see if I can figure this out. Alright, let's see here. It's kind of weird doing this through a computer, but that's alright. Connor. I don't know if I spelled his name right. Excuse me, sorry. For all I know, I could have gotten irritated and blocked him. It would have been hilarious if I did. Cause, oh no, wait, no, I didn't block him. Oh, Burger on. Lives in Gilder, and he's got a nice smiley face on his profile picture. He's got 5 mutual friends of mine. Wait, oh no, man, okay. I don't know what he's up to. I don't see, it's hard to tell through a computer, but I don't see any sort of information, and his profile picture, yeah, no photos to show, and that profile picture looks like he's been there for a while, so who knows. I'm happy to say that he's got a smile on his face in that picture, so hopefully that smile has lasted him for a while, because we're going on 14 years since I last saw or wrestled him, as far as I remember. Would I put him in the Hall of Fame? Yes, I would actually. Yes, when I looked at the list when I looked at the roster from IKW, Ace was literally the first person that I wanted to put in the Hall of Fame. I know it sounds weird because I always hated him, but I actually, believe it or not, I actually chose Ace before I even thought about myself or Jake being put in the Hall of Fame. I didn't want to go in the Hall of Fame. I wanted to like wait until like the last possible you know, time to do it. Like we're gonna do like, you know, like 10 years of this Hall of Fame thing. I wanted it to be year 10, you know. Put everybody else before me. I don't care if it's, because I was really saving the best for last, and I felt the same way about Jake. Just like you and I were the ones that created this company. You know, why should we? You know, why should we go in first? You know, I think my list. I think we. I don't remember how we ran it, but I know we agreed on Arcane and Total Anarchy being in the Hall of Fame in the first place. I don't remember who the other one was. I don't know if he tried choosing me or if I tried choosing Ace. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah. So that's. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Now we can move on to. Now we can move on to Demented X. Demented X was a little kid who was the age of my sister, named Ralphie, who lived across the street. And so I was like 14 when this thing started. He was maybe 8 or 9 when this started, so excuse me. So he got into this whole thing because I'm just gonna try to do some organizing while I talk. It's gonna make things better for me. Basically what happened was that he wanted to be a part of the business, and and he was, you know, he was never a bad kid. You know, we were neighbors, and we always played Guitar Hero together and all that, and you know, he really wanted to be, a part of the wrestling. And Jake came up with this character called Demented X, and Ralphie wanted to play this character, and I remember bringing it up to Jake, and I was like, because Ralphie was standing by me, he's like, hey, he wants to be in the wrestling, can we put him in there? He's like, yeah, that should be fine. I say, I know you're looking for someone to play Demented X, can he plays Demented X? And Jake kind of was like, I mean, I guess, you know, so that was kind of funny. And okay. So, like, trying to get my thoughts here. So, yeah, so Ralphie played as Demented X. The pros to his character was that he was trying, he really was. He was a great kid. He was sensitive, you know, a great kid. Funny times, I guess. What the hell? I guess I can't really say much good about the character, but the negative. I mean, what do you expect from a kid? You know, like he probably wasn't the worst, but I don't know. I feel bad. I really do. But I guess I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. Like, it's hard to explain. Yeah. I don't know. There isn't really much I can even say about his character. The way I say it is, like, as long as we're having fun, I guess that's what's important, like, the most. You know, that's something that I tend to forget is, like, you know, like, were we having fun, and we were having fun. That, I guess that was the most, most important thing. Where is he now? I don't know exactly where he is right now. Last I heard was that he had a kid. Out of everyone that was on that roster, I think he turned out to be the most successful. It's funny because probably the worst wrestler on that whole list ends up being the most successful, which I think is great. I'm very happy for him. He's a Christian. For all I know, he's probably married now and has 2 kids. I know he had 1 kid with this girl. But I think he's doing very good for himself. Last I heard. You know, and I got nothing, even though I'm not part of his life, I'm happy about that. I really am. I honestly, God, have nothing but respect for him right now and say nice things about him. You know, moving on after I moved on in my life and he moved on with his. Last time I saw him, we were over at, it was Great Escape. I don't remember. This was probably like 2013 around there. And we saw him over there, and it was kind of cool seeing him, you know. But yeah, I got nothing but respect for him, you know. I can't say anything negative about the kid. He has always been. Honest to God, I really always thought that he was a great kid. Even when I was young and had my stress and problems, you know, and anxiety and dealing with personal problems, and him and I didn't always see eye to eye, I still, at the end of the day, thought he was a pretty cool kid and deserved nothing but peace and love. And, you know, he was, he wasn't like a perfect flower child or anything, but you know that if you ever had to go across the street and knock on the door, they wouldn't shun you away. They let you in. His parents let you in their house, and they tried to help me out quite a few times. And I'd like to believe that if it weren't for that family, mainly in the beginning, I probably wouldn't have any sort of faith in Jesus Christ, even though that was an on-and-off relationship with me. I think that they were really the first people that ever put that, besides my immediate family, I think that outside of that realm, they were really the first to kind of direct me towards that Holy Spirit and guiding light. So I don't ever want to be any of these guys as friends right now. But if anyone ever brought up a conversation with me about, you know, the wrestling, the past and everything, and, you know, I would definitely bring those people up. So I don't know. This one's gonna be difficult to talk about. Alright, so we talked about the Mensadex, and now we're gonna move on talk about FedEx. 1 second. I never like to eat on camera, so getting a little hungry. Okay. Something about it, something about me, I don't like to eat anything while on camera. Drinking's one thing, but eating is just, I don't know what it is about me. I've just kind of been like that for a while. FedEx, excuse me, played by Ricky, who was Tank's little brother and Ralphie's cousin. FedEx, okay, so it's gonna be a real honest story. Might be a while, I don't know. When I used to record sessions of this documentary, I did like a 15-minute talk about him. Excuse me. Alright, so the pros about working with FedEx, very funny. We joked around a lot, we had a great time hanging out with each other, just like I did with Ralphie. We played Guitar Hero together. We talked about music, and it was just I don't know, we just had a fun time being around each other. My favorite incident with him in the wrestling was when he went to fight Flame Damien and came out with a curtain rod and whacked Flame Damien in the head with it. The cons, I hated wrestling him because he always laid on the ground. He did not know how to hold a camera. This is how you should hold a camera, at least like looking at it, or like you can hold like this if you're looking at it. You would hold it like this, and you can't really see anything. I'm surprised he wasn't the first one to get fired from the company, with all due respect. Like, I'm surprised to this day. But you can thank me for Demented X being the first one fired, because I talked Jake into doing that. But one of probably the worst wrestlers in the company, I don't know, like, it was just complete, like, it was kind of embarrassing. Like he couldn't even do the job being a cameraman. The only good thing about him in the company was his match against Flame Damien, and that's the only positive thing I could actually say about him in the company. But the reason why I said that this is going to be difficult to talk about is where are they now? Maybe 4 years ago, FedEx, or Ricky, his real name. Unfortunately, he passed away like 4 years ago. I have not been a part of his life since, give or take, maybe 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. I don't know how he passed away. I don't talk to anyone in his family. I give my condolences, even though I feel like none of them really cared about me, I still give my condolences and hope that I know he's not suffering anymore, if he was suffering. Man, that one's difficult. Not really much I can really say about that. I was kind of shocked to hear about the fact that he died. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to sit here and have a good talk about the guy when, number one, I wasn't in his life for the last, like almost 10 years. None of the family ever reached out to me, so I don't know. I can only be respectful for a certain amount of time. I mean, it's a shame he died. I feel bad. I don't know how it happened. I, honest to God, don't care to know. It's really none of my business. But because I had a past with him and he was in the wrestling from the beginning, and they've only been there for a very short time, I still feel like I have to bring him up on this documentary, you know. It's, I guess it's, at the end of the day, all I can say is that I give my condolences and pay my respects, and that's all I can say. It's, his passing is none of my business, because I wasn't in his life before it happened. I wasn't in his life after. I didn't go to the funeral. I wasn't invited. No one told me anything. So I think people got this mindset that Dallas has the ability to drop off the face of the earth, and it's just how it's always been with me. I'm sure that before he passed, at some point, he probably thought about me. I can't say they were negative thoughts, or I'm sorry, I can't say they were positive thoughts, but I know that I have the ability to, when I'm a part of anyone's life, to make some sort of impact where whether they love me or hate me, they remember me. And it's just that. Would I put him in the Hall of Fame? No, I wouldn't. I would not. And I don't know if I answered that question about the Mentidex, but as much as I care about, as much as I give my respect to Ralphie, I wouldn't put him in either. Because they weren't good wrestlers. They didn't, and I understand they were just kids, so I get that. And I wasn't perfect either. But, and I don't want them to feel bad, because not that they really care, but they're not the only two in this list who wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, just to be honest. I would put them in like a lot of other past wrestlers, put them in give them the appreciation award. Appreciate the fact that you're here, missed you when you came in, but I'll watch you leave, that sort of thing. So, but anyways. let's move on and talk about where are you now? Flame Damien. Oh god. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna have to take a drink from this before I even talk about this one. Flame Damien is, well, was probably the goofiest character we ever had in the wrestling. Not like he did it on purpose, but he just was completely goofy. And, funny guy in wrestling. I can't really say if he was a good wrestler. I mean, my last memory of wrestling him was Fighter Finals 2, when I had this part where I was supposed to put him, I was supposed to lay him on like this wooden board that we used as a table. Actually, it might have been drywall for all I know. Was sitting on these two chairs. There was a chair here, chair there, and like right here is supposed to like break through. I was supposed to put him on there, and I was gonna do a flip onto it. Well, I get him ready for the angle, and I go to hit his head on the. Or no, I don't know. I think it was like I tried to move him so that he would lay on it, but he thought the angle was that I was trying to hit his head on the board, and like a moron, he hits his head, like he puts his arm over, right? But the dumbass breaks the board in half before I can even put him on. So I had to put him on this broken board. He would flip off the chair, and it was just a nightmare. But it was like, like I don't know. Well, he was Jake's best friend at the time, and he was one of the ones that really tried to help out the company. I guess the positive was that if you needed a funny guy in the company, he was really the main one for that whole thing. He was just completely hilarious because he was so goofy that no one could really take him seriously. No one could take him seriously because he was funny and unpredictable. I can't tell you of him winning any matches or any opponents besides FedEx. But yeah, the negative. Although he was funny, he was fucking annoying. Oh my god, like extremely annoying. Like I hated being around him off camera. I almost hated him as much as I hated being around Ace. I think that my problem was that I was sensitive, and I took everything personally that he would joke around me about. I remember one day I was in Jake's room and he was saying this, that, and the third thing, and then I got mad and took a DVD case and threw it at his head, and Jake was like, dude, he was joking with you the whole time, and I didn't know he was joking, so, but I just kind of got irritated, you know, and I apologize, but I just like, you know, but anyways, that incident's like over 10 years old anyways, so, where is he now? I don't know. I saw him like 8 years ago at a, over at, I forget where the place is. It was this, I don't know, it was this restaurant where we watched the, oh, that's scary. Where we watched the, wrestling pay-per-views, Jake and his family and I, and he was there. You know, I kind of want to figure out, I kind of want to figure out what this, I kind of want to figure out what this place is called. Lincoln Park. Oh, Buffalo Wild Wings, that's what it was. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, they play the wrestling events over there. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Anyways, one of the last times I saw him before we started hanging out with Jake again, was that he respected me for coming out of the closet and wanted to tell me that before we stopped talking for a while, and he told me himself that he respects me because of that decision. This is not easy, and I thought that was really cool. Last I saw him was I think November 1st at we went to a bar, Jake, his mother, Jew, and I, Julian, real name for playing Damien, but that's so I really remember. I know he was, I guess, going to school to be a lawyer, so I would assume that he's got a successful life going for him right now. I don't know, but I would just assume that things are going pretty good for him. Would I put him in the Hall of Fame? I would, actually. Even though I can't remember most of his matches, I'd put him in the Hall of Fame because he was completely funny. And I never, if I were to watch the videos back, I can't really say much negative things about the guy. So, yeah, so where I stand. Where I also stand is that I'm really cold right now, so wait 1 second. And what I'm gonna do is open up a new drink and grab a hoodie, and I'll probably put some socks on because my feet are cold, so we're gonna just see what this is about. Okay. Alright. Okay, you know what? Alright, excuse me for a second. excuse me. We're back. And I didn't think this video would be that long. But I may not have time to talk about myself or Dr. Reality in this video, which is perfectly fine by me. I got a contract for 12 episodes of these, and if I don't get to talk about them in this episode, I know I'll talk about them in the next episode. But let's see here. Next, I get to talk about Tank. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. So, Tank was, as I said before, Ricky's brother, older brother, and I knew him back when I wrestled before IKW, before I met Jake. This was his trampoline wrestling. I met Frankie, who played Tank. I met him in 2006. Yes, 2006. No, I met him in 2005. But anyways, less of the point. The positive about him was that he was extremely funny to be around. Him and I always joked around with each other. Always joked around with each other. Always had a great time laughing about things. Big wrestling fans. The negative. Okay. Before I get to the negative, I will say that he was one of my favorite people to wrestle with because he was such a big guy, and it was really fun to, you know, wrestle with someone that was that size. Kind of like Yokozuna type character. Yes, I know that sounds kind of mean, but excuse me. Negative. Negative. From a wrestling standpoint, I didn't really see much of anything, man. He was not one of those guys just have to lay there, kind of like his brother. He stole it from me. He stole an Undertaker DVD from me. He stole a wallet from me, and I caught him in the act and gave it back to me, but I still caught him in the act. He stole, he got one of the neighbor kids to steal my mom's camera, who had all our pictures from the Disney World trip. And then I got grounded for that. So he just was a stealing asshole. As far as would I put him in the Hall of Fame? No, I wouldn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I already answered that question. Where is he now? Last I heard, he was in jail. I don't know where he is now. But the last that I heard anything from him was he was in jail. So I think I believe I also heard that he's a drug addict. It wouldn't surprise me, but as far as I know, I got nothing. I got nothing I can say about him that's positive right now. The only thing I feel bad for is that his brother died. It's the only thing I feel bad for about him. I can't sit here and say anything positive about the guy. I haven't seen him since maybe 2011, if anything. What? Excuse me, but I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything. I just really don't have much of anything positive to say about the guy. I guess I can talk about tag teams. Lords of Rock was a tag team I did with FedEx. It was obviously influenced by Guitar Hero. Nothing much to it. Just two kids playing air guitar and being goofy and not really much that I can say about that. It's just the tag teams during those times were terrible. So I don't really have much of any memory of a match or anything. I think like one time we had a handicap match against Jake. I think I can be wrong about that. But yeah. Who the fuck are we? Was a tag team that was a tag team that Jake and I had created. Just another goofy tag team. There's not really much to it. Just completely it's just I don't know, it's one of those silly, goofy things. That's all I can really say about it. Kind of cut short. Yeah, stay tuned for episode 3. I'm kind of tired because I took these new medication for anxiety, and it's kind of feeling alright. At least thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace and love.
Our pain. It's been far too long since you and I had a match. It's been far too long that we've been away. The hiatus is over. We missed the return of the Dark Alliance. And now, 10 years after the biohazard, the days of UW are dead and gone. Yet you and I come face to face soon. Fighter Finals X was the last time we faced each other. Let it be over 3 years ago. Yet we still, to this day, I never got serious about UAW. Well, now the time has come that I am serious about UAW. The challenge for the main event is coming. And what I have in store for you are Pain, Captain Major Pain, Painless, Pain, whatever you want to call yourself. Let it be known that Dark Rocker will be making an entrance. Although my documentary is called Dead End, it's a dead end for UW. But a new road has opened for UAW, a new road for Dark Rocker that I would call Victory Road. Our Pain, whether we have our match this summer, this winter, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years, one thing remains the same. I beat you in our last match, and I'll beat you again once, again and for all. You will never forget the name Dark Rocker.